Ooh, First Legion. You'll be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Sancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alice and he's Alphinaud. And last but not least, there's Green. Green. Where have I heard that before? No matter. Alphinaud and Alice will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about being many dangers. So you're to run, not saunter, run towards the station. If you think about even going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphinaud and Alice will then begin moving towards his destination. Ready to make a dash for the station? Yes! This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. North of the station is Regio Domorum, where one of the main residential areas. Well, at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off. Understood? From here we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the holds unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen. Aye, they spared their own, but slaughtered the rest without hesitation. We'll try to avoid detection. The chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they'd be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. I see why your comrades chose you. Julius, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For I know your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, you have to keep moving. Looks like we're not being followed. We'll continue onward. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I saved my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal's ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. And you admit it. Now that you've seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I'll keep mine. This way. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I'll be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. It's plain to see why they chose this as a base of their operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine that's the easiest place to live. Indeed. And if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like the victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varus understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop! Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
On the coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch a wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shark collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? There was somewhat compromised, to put it lightly. Let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of this situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alfredo and Alice will pay the price. Oh, you remember their name. It's you, Green Slime. I served under Lord Geist in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. Multiple times per week.
Yeah.
And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve, mark my words. So cold. This young soldier on the verge of losing consciousness. I know who you are, the so-called champion of yours here. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Ugh. Damn. All the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, I can't even muster the strength. But one for the third bleeding, us will be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life. We made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... night fell and we gathered around the radio, and the roar, a terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy, mind attack but body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. There's always two sides to every story. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you better keep your hands off that aetherite. Deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city built by Garleans, or for Garleans. The teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetherite's power to keep this place lit, but that comes at the cost of its normal function. Did you learn anything of note? Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are the greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know it won't last much longer. Should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. So those you met fare no better? I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough? Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you or the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses as most families kept some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we have a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is a greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified a culprit. Could have been other refugees, or one of the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you can do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or, in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish before long before the reinforcements reach Garleans. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. Well, I will. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garleans in the depth of our enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for a ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. We will begin our searches for ceruleum in the Regio Urbanissima. First location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of the station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Zosgalvus. Ah, the classic patron of the arts. Also Asian. Do we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I decided to try one more time in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Solius. The pond, the children play areas. To your knowledge, however, no one required the use of ceruleum. Cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long been since drained to ceruleum, as Jules said. The contraption is built in the style of Imperial War Machina, armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Oh, it's you. Any luck? Nope. There's no sign of any ceruleum. Oddly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes, I mean, no, It's just... I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done every time. And every time, when you get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch out death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. Can't see a thing and can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. My wager is still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it. For the first, there's a few foreign signiferi and medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now? Alphinode, as you have the knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of verifier should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? A little friendly competition might make things interesting. Last one to find a ceruleum tank is a rotten egg. Though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. Maybe it's at the center. You delve into murky water, but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind of your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Oof. Beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. You open the hatch and retrieve a ceruleum tank. However, your grand discovery comes at a great personal cost as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and a rancid odor emanating from every ailment of your body. Julius will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver to him your prize. Did you find anything? I hope you did. Temperature regulator ceruleum tank. Uncovering hidden treasure is an adventurer's bread and butter, though one is not normally required to go elbow deep in ice-cold, stagnant pond water to retrieve it. Nevertheless, many would choose that over mowing down hordes of slavering beasts or solving annoying puzzles. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Ah, the fire's still not ready. Hold on. I'll give Alpino a hand. Ah, the campfire minion. Classic. Call me an old Don because by fire I am reborn. And my clothes are mostly dry now, too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garleans? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contribution to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garleans like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat and sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song, of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Grey clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we climbed to the top of the tallest building we could find to watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Alright, now that you're recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search just outside the park. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prise them apart piece by piece, it'll be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering though, you should check the Machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood. Let's get to work. Hooray, a half-full ceruleum tank. More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? War Machina ceruleum tank. Not only did this tank survive the attack that disabled the War Machina in which it was installed, it also escaped the blast of your explosives unscathed. If medals for outstanding service were awarded to inanimate objects, this champion among ceruleum tanks would surely deserve one. You've done it again. Truly luck is on your side. With this we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alice and Alphinaud are faring. Oh no, you disappeared.
You will too.
Oh no.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we? Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of our scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything. The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile. It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
Probably the plan to attack the
I can
town
only
of Babil.
speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Eulus spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Everything will be alright. Have faith.
Get them out of here.